Welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this bow using my Bowdabra. If you haven't done so, please consider subscribing and don't forget to tap that bell for notifications on my uploads, live streams, and premieres. And don't forget to give this a thumbs up. I'll be using these two ribbons from Sam's Club, and here's my Bowdabra. I'm attempting to put a cable tie through there. It can be a little tricky sometimes. You can use any kind of wire, chenille stems, whatever to tie off your bow. I'm using a zip tie or a cable tie, and I just measured out 12 inches, and then I'm making my first loop, and you always want to twist that ribbon before you make that loop so your pattern stays on top. Now I'm going to measure that and just see how long it is, how long that loop is. That way I can make the other side evenly, because you want your loops to be even on each side. Now that I've measured both sides, I can just go about making the rest of the loops and not worrying about measuring them, because I know how long they need to be. I just need to match them up with the loops that are already made. And again, you make a loop and then you twist the ribbon so your pattern stays on top, and then form your other loop. I'm not very fast with the Bowdabra. It's still very new to me, so I'm a lot slower making a bow with the Bowdabra than just freehanding it, because I've done it that way for so long. But you can make some more, fun bows with the Bowdabra. It is helpful in a lot of ways, so I want to get skilled at both. Okay, so now I'm measuring out 12 inches for my other tail, and you don't have to measure your tails. You can make your tails different lengths. It doesn't matter. I actually like making them different lengths, but I just wanted a guide to go by. And now I'm using this 2.5 inch ribbon in the middle. It's going to be my middle layer. And now there's a tip here, because when you have a pattern that is showing, you want your pattern on top, but when you make bows sometimes with patterns like this, then you'll have one side of the bow where the patterns are upside down. So I don't know if you saw what I just did. I just gave that whole loop a twist after making it. That way that pattern is going to stay on both sides of the bow. That pattern is going to be facing the same direction. But I suggest that you do this while you're making the bow. Don't wait till after you've tied it off to try and twist those loops. They won't stay. For some reason you have to do it while you're making it, and that's when you're going to get your best result. So just cut that off. I actually used to not even worry about it, and then because I just assumed it wouldn't work, but once I started trying to twist the loops, they would stay. So now I do it like that, and now your pattern will all be facing the same direction. So I decided to do one more layer with the butterflies, but not a bunch of loops, just going to do a few, and I'm making them a little bit shorter. So I'm going to get my ruler out again and measure that, because I don't want to cover up too much of those bicycles. That's the ribbon that I really wanted to show. Again, I'm twisting that loop, or twisting that ribbon and then making the loop. Kind of measuring that to make sure they're about the same. I like a bunch of tails on my bows. I think they're fun, especially if they're going different directions. That's my favorite kind of bow. But however you want to make it, however many tails. If you don't want your tails showing, cut them off really short. Don't cut them off long like this. Now I am done. You just want to carefully pull up on that zip tie or wire or whatever it is you're using. I'm going to start tightening that before I even have it all the way out. This can be a tricky part too. But if you have trouble making bows, the Bowdabra does help quite a bit. It would help you make a bunch of different kinds of bows. It does take, like I said, it does take some time to get used to. And I'm just moving that zip tie around so the end is on the back side of the bow. I don't want it on the front. And I'm just going to fix all my tails and loops, move them around, try to get them exactly where I want them. Kind of fluff them out. You can get an idea of what it's going to look like. So it's a nice full bow. You can tell it was not hard to make. I am actually made this for my front door wreath. It's not really on my front door, it's on a little lantern, but it needed to be updated. The bow was really faded out. And sometimes just changing out the bow on a wreath will just completely transform the wreath. So if you have one that's outdated, got faded or whatever, you just want to freshen it up. Sometimes just adding a new bow to it will completely change it. So I just added a chenille stem so I can hang it on my wreath. This is a grapevine wreath. You can see I already had a spot for a bow. And I like to run those chenille stems actually through the grapevine and not around it. Whatever is easier for you. See how simple that was? Now I just want to fluff those up again, and I'm pulling on those tails. If you see the way I'm pulling on them, that just kind of makes them, it gives them like a natural curl, and it just makes them look so much nicer. And I'm just cutting the tails at an angle. You can cut a dovetail if you prefer. I actually prefer dovetails most of the time, but on this one I just wanted some angles, and I like the way it turned out. So you see what I did there on the tails? Just gives it that nice little natural curl. Just want to pull your loops around, move your tails where you want them. Just really fluff it up and make it look cute. This is a good spring or even summer wreath, everyday wreath. Good all through this time. I won't have to change it out for a long time. That's why I like wreaths like this. You can leave them up for a long time till they start looking bad. Those flowers I actually painted myself. I've got a video for that. I did that last year, and look how nice they still look. That's just craft paint too that I used. So I'll try to put a link up there on when I made this wreath and when I painted those flowers and stuff, so you guys can click on that if you would like. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to help me out. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment. Please be kind with your comments. Tap that bell for notifications. And if you're feeling generous, you can give me a super thanks, and I would appreciate it very much. If not, could you please watch an ad all the way through, and make sure you watch it all the way through so it will end on its own. Don't skip it. If you can do that every once in a while, you would help me and any other YouTubers you watch so much. That's the only way we get paid. Thanks so much again for watching, and have a great day.